Tonight.
Hey guys, it's me, Mrs. Claus, here stealing Sylvia's channel for a new video today. Just kidding, it's me, Sylvia, guys. Can you tell? Anyways, today's video, I'm obviously transforming myself into Mrs. Claus. Ho, 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 or whatever Mrs. Claus says. Do you want some cookies? Merry Christmas Eve, because I'm uploading this video on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day is tomorrow. I hope you guys are all having a great time with your families. Cherish these moments. The holidays are so special. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, it's still nice to have time off work, time off school, and to spend quality time with your family and friends. That's what the holidays are all about. This cut crease and bold lip can also be great for any holiday event. You just don't have to wear the whole wig and Mrs. Claus outfit. Anyways, before we get into the video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not yet subscribed, and join my S Club. I drop 2 videos a week, one every single Sunday, so you don't want to miss out on that. And without further ado, let's get into the transformation. Back to basics, Sylvia. So I'm gonna start with prepping my skin. I do have a lot of dryness right around my nostril area and a little bit above my lips because I've been sick the past couple days. My voice is a little off too. I don't know if you guys noticed, but to help with that, I'm gonna go in with Farzali's Rose Gold Elixir. This is great for adding like instant hydration. It is like a little bit of an oily product, so it's good for adding dewiness and hydration, but if you're an oily skin type like me, then you probably don't wanna use it all over your face. I know a lot of people mix it in with their foundations to get the dewy look, but for me, that'll look crazy after a couple hours. So I'm just concentrating it in the dry spots. So then those areas where my skin is flaking and looking super dry and gross, like it's gonna help to really smooth it out and make it look so much better when we go in with the foundation. So if you have dry skin all over, that's probably a really good product to use with your foundation or prepping your skin before you do your makeup. For primer, I'm gonna use the new Pearl Primer from Benefit. It is a second version of their Professional Primer, which I love the original, so I'm excited to try this one. It's more of like a pearlescent type finish instead of super matte, but it still has that blurring and mattifying effect. And I'm just gonna apply that all over. Oh yeah, it feels like it's the original Professional. It's got that really kind of silky feeling to it. For foundation, I'm gonna use an old favorite of mine. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I used to wear this all the time, so we're going back to it today. It's a very full coverage foundation, which you guys know I love. It's very long lasting. You know Mrs. Claus needs that when she's baking all those cookies all day long and waiting on her man, hand and foot. She needs her makeup to stay on, can you feel me? Okay, I used way too much, but it's okay. She likes her foundation how she likes her men. Heavy! That sounded better in my head. Okay, I used actually way too much. This is ridiculous. Let's hope we can blend it all away. When I watch the footage back and I see myself blending my foundation, I'm so rough with a beauty blender. I feel like I'm more rough than the average person. I'm just like literally beating my face. Blending is key. I mean, you gotta put your elbow in it. Gotta put your shoulder into it. What is the phrase? So foundation is applied. Let's move on to brows. I'm saving the rest of the face makeup for after we do our eyes. We're gonna be working with glittery shadows. All that fallout and everything is gonna be a lot easier to clean up if we do concealer afterwards. So moving on to brows. I'm going to be using Colourpop's brow pencil in Honey Blonde. This has been my favorite brow pencil recently. It's so creamy. This is the perfect shade that I want my brows. I feel like usually it's too much of an ashy brown or too auburn. So this is like the perfect warm blonde, honey blonde. And it's so affordable too. I really love Colourpop. They come out with so many items like so frequently and they're all so affordable and awesome. And this is just my current fave. So I'm just stenciling out my brow first and getting the shape right. I usually start with the bottom and I do light little strokes and then I'll move on to the top. Basically first start with the perimeter of the brow and then I'll slowly start to fill in the bald areas or where there's less hair, very lightly, imitating little hairs. And then I like to extend my brow a little bit in the front. So I'll do small little fake hairs really lightly and brush them out so it's kind of faded, and then brush the rest out so there's no obvious lines and it just blends into your natural. Now I'm going to set them into place using the brow tamer from Urban Decay. It's a clear brow gel. So I like to really flare up and make the front of my brow super fluffy and natural looking, and then flatten and run it through the tail of my brow to make sure that all the hairs are in place. So now I'm going to prime my lids for eyeshadow using the Pearl Longwear Paint Pot from MAC in Soft Ochre. So this is going to prep the eyes for the eyeshadow and also conceal any of the discoloration or dark circles. I also like to run this along the bottom of my brow just to sharpen it up a bit and make it super clean looking. See the difference difference it makes to your brow. This is my natural discoloration of my eyelid. Bam, clean canvas. So I'm just gonna run some powder over top of that to make sure that it mattifies it and it'll help the eyeshadows blend a lot smoother on it afterwards. And I'm gonna use Patrick Starr's collection with MAC in this tutorial. This is the first time I'm trying the products, but I'm so excited. I went to the launch event and it was wonderful. The collection looks amazing and I finally came home and got it in PR, so now I can use it. We're gonna use both of the palettes that he came out with, and we'll probably use some lip products too later on. So he came out with 2 palettes in the collection. This one's called Glam AF and this one is Goal Getter. It's just so cool to see an influencer coming out with a line with MAC. Not long ago, they did not even work with influencers at all. They didn't even give out PR packages, and then they just like came full force, started giving out amazing PR packages, started doing events, working with influencers, and it's just so cool to see. Like, Patrick is really paving the way for the rest of us. So dope. All the shades in the palette are so wearable too. You did a really good job. I'm using this shade for my brow bone. So I'm just gonna apply that on my brow bone as a little highlight. Now I'm going in with Soft Brown from the Goal Getter palette. And I'm gonna use that as a transition shade just above the crease and below the brow bone. Because we're gonna do a floating cut crease later on. God, I used to wear this shade all the time as a transition. Back in the days when I would only wear MAC. Still so good. So now to deepen up the crease, I'm gonna go in with Saddle from the Glam AF palette. So just placing that along the crease and kind of starting to shape out the cut crease that we're gonna define later on. This is another classic MAC shade. I still use it to this day. I've probably hit pan on like 10 of these. It's just such a good crease shade. Again, flicking outwards in the outer corner of my eye to really elongate that cut crease and elongate the eye a bit. And I'm using a more defined, smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe M507 brush to really help have a little bit more control over the color. It still blends it, but because it has a more tapered tip, I can really get it along the crease there. So now I'm going to clean it up a little bit and cut the crease with a bit of the foundation on a really precise small detailing brush from Juvia's Place. Now we're going to do the same thing, or at least try to do the same thing on the other eye. The trick here is to be patient, and I usually go little bit by little bit, small strokes. So if you're using a small mirror like this, you want to make sure that you're looking also at a bigger mirror at both eyes, because it'll be easier to match them that way. And then I'm just kind of following my natural crease where my eye socket folds there and using that as a guide. But honestly, I still have trouble matching my cut creases. It just depends on the day and my luck, but practicing definitely helps. And honestly, it's not the end of the world if they don't match perfectly. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Skinny Dip from Jouer's Skinny Dip Ultra Foil Shimmer Shadow Palette. And I'm gonna put that all over the lid up to the cut crease. These shadows are so beautiful. They're so metallic and there's so much glitter in there. It's perfect for holiday parties. Or honestly, if you're just extra like me all the time. Regular events, school, work, shopping, grocery shopping. So now, just because I want to see how intense we can get it, I'm going to spray my brush with Fix Plus. Again, I'm going to just flick that shade outwards so it just kind of disappears and gradually blends outwards with the rest of those shadows there. I'm just going to place some Scotch tape because I want to do a smoky liner, and this is just going to help make it a clean application. If you have trouble making your wings even, this is going to help you as well, because if you put the tape there, you can kind of take a look at both pieces. That way you can make sure you get the angle right on both sides before you even go in with the product. Liner hack. Now I'm going in with Embark from the Glam AF palette, and I'm going to use a fluffy pencil brush to apply that, just so that I can have that precision that I want for a wing liner, but it's also fluffy enough to where it'll blend it out and make it nice and smoky. So I packed the shadow on first to create a sharp wing, but now that I want to smoke it out, I'm just using whatever shadow is left over my brush to kind of blend upwards really carefully and slowly to make sure we're not adding too much shadow and not making the wing too thick. Now you can really bring this shade as close to the inner corner as you want, but I'm going to keep it super close to my lash line for most of my lid, just because I want most of the emphasis to be on the outer corner. That's going to elongate my eye. That's going to make it more almond shape. I do have really small eyes originally, so that's why I like to really focus most of the darker colors on the outer corner and wing it out. It just helps to give the illusion of a bigger, more almond shaped eye. So now that I've done the smoky liner, I'm ready to take off the tape, which comes off easily because I took off a lot of the stickiness before applying, and we got our perfect sharp wing. Now I'm ready for some concealer. I'm going to be using Tarte's Shape Tape in light neutral. Very full coverage concealer. It's going to conceal all of that discoloration, dark circles, and blend nicely into our full coverage foundation. And you know we're gonna bake using a Patrick Starr's setting powder in his collection. We're setting the concealer, locking it in place, and also helping to contour the nose a little bit with this. Now with whatever's left over my beauty blender, I'm gonna press it into all the areas where I get a lot of creasing. This is gonna really help to lock in that foundation. I'm gonna dust that off right away. I'm not gonna let it bake too long. My under eye has been pretty dry lately. So I completely dusted it off. Let's do the flash test because that's the first time I'm using that setting powder and I baked with it and I'm not sure if it's gonna pass the flash test. Patrick, I hope so. It passed! Oh my god. It passed the flash test with flying colors. It does not look like there's any powder under my eyes and I literally just dusted it off. It hasn't even had time to settle into the skin or anything. So that's amazing. He killed it. So now I'm going back in with the Goal Getter palette. This is the transition shade we used, a soft brown. We're gonna take that on the lower lash line and just smoke out the outer lashes a bit. Again, keeping the shadow on the most outer part. Now taking Embark from Glam AF palette and connecting the wing liner to the outer corner of the lower lash line. So now for mascara, I'm using Tarte's Lights Camera Lashes mascara. I'm just gonna coat my lashes before we go into falsies. For lashes, I'm gonna use Samantha No. 7 lashes from Huda Beauty. So I'm gonna cut those and apply them off camera just to save some time. I'll be right back. Now I'm gonna use the shade Enhance from the Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte. So I'm gonna use this to brighten up my under eye and highlight under there. I'm gonna also use this to chisel out my nose a little bit. Now I'm gonna use the shade Angle to bronze. Concentrating most of the product in the hollows of my cheeks, but then blending upwards as there's less and less product on the brush to help blend. And I'm also gonna bronze my forehead a bit with that shade, just keeping it along my hairline. Now I'm gonna highlight using Too Faced's new Diamond Light highlighter. The packaging is so cute. Looks like it's a little ring box, and inside you have a brick highlight that is so gorgeous. This is like one of my most prized makeup products right now, just based off how it looks. I'm just gonna apply that on my cheekbones. It's very icy, so definitely Mrs. Claus material. For blush, I'm using the shade Songbird from Becca. Mrs. Claus has gotta have rosy cheeks. So I'm gonna bring that all the way onto the apples of the cheeks. Normally, I would kind of keep it just in between the bronzer and the highlight there, but we want them extra rosy. You can smile to help you find the apples of your cheeks if you'd like. There we go. So next up is lips. We're gonna do a bright red lip because what is more festive and more Mrs. Claus and more Christmas than a bold red lip? Thank you, Patrick. You came out with some beautiful red shades in your collection. So we're gonna go in first with his brick lip pencil and let's line our lips. Oh, so smooth. I love MAC lip liners. Oh, got a little carried away there. It's okay. So now I'm gonna use the shade Patrick Woo. I love that, the name Patrick Woo. It's a play on the original Ruby Woo, which is an iconic red MAC lipstick. Oh, but she is creamy. Creamier than Ruby Woo ever was. Ruby Woo is the most drying lipstick of all time. Oh, I'm living for it. Beautiful. So nice. I love it. Can I get like 7 backups of this? It's matte, but it's not like the super drying matte that Ruby Woo is known for. We're gonna top it off with the Patrick Woo lip gloss, which is obviously the same shade, just in a lip gloss form. Ooh, oh yeah. A glossy red lip is just everything. Not sticky, not goopy. I'm so happy with this collection. I seriously want backups of everything. And now I'm looking like a powdery, cakey mess right now. Okay, that's a little bit dramatic, but I am gonna set my face to help my skin look more alive. So I'm using MAC's Fix Plus. Clearly well loved. This bottle is almost finished, but don't worry, I have like 7 backups in my drawer. Refreshing. So the makeup look is complete. Now for the full transformation, I'm gonna throw on my wig off camera because I'm not a pro at putting on wigs, so I don't want to really show you guys how to do it yet if I don't really know how. I'm gonna hide all my mistakes with the hat. Then I'm gonna put on my Mrs. Claus costume I got from Party City and the transformation will be complete. All right, so this is the complete transformation into Mrs. Claus.
Santa baby, come and trim my Christmas tree.
I even added some real ornaments and just hooked them onto my studs here. For an added effect, you could also, if you really want to be Mrs. Claus, you could throw on some reading glasses. Don't be naughty, Mr. Claus. I really love the way the finished look turned out. Let me know if you guys recreate this makeup look by tagging me on my socials at Sylvia Ganny. Anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys loved it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed, and check out these other videos that I have posted if you haven't seen them yet. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys. Merry Christmas. Mwah. Bye.